hold up. I saw something right now. Where did it go? There's... Okay. Well, this video is going to be my October / fall TBR. These are going to be books that I want to read during the month of October, and then a separate category that's just for like the whole length of fall. To be honest, I'm probably not going to be reading that much because of school, but I'm going to try to read as much as I can because these are actually all books that I like really want to read. So just starting off with October, these are all kind of like spooky-ish, Halloween-ish books. The first one that I have, I've actually already started it. It's called My Darling Dreadful Thing. It is a like thriller kind of ghost story. So this girl she's like a psychic or something, or she poses as a psychic, but she has like this ghost friend that she's had with her for like as long as she can remember. And her name's Ruth. And Ruth is like her buddy that they do everything together. Like she's always there with her. And this girl gets framed for a murder, and she's trying to prove that it wasn't her, but it like was Ruth. I don't know. It's really kind of confusing, but like I'm only in the second chapter. But it's pretty good, and it's a thriller, okay? It's a thriller. But she like has, you know, her little blurb in the beginning that says if you were to like completely break down the book, that it's actually like a love story. But like you have to break it down to like its bare minimum. So yeah. But it's interesting. It's pretty, so far it's like keeping me wanting to read. Okay, and it actually has a great review by Rachel Gillig, who's actually the writer of One Dark Window, which is also going to be on my TBR. The next book that I have is it's like a Halloween-y book. Well, I mean, okay. Anyways, it's Dracula by Bram Stoker. And I actually have this cool like version, like this cool printing by the Penguin House, or the Penguin book, whatever. Hold on. So Penguin Class, it's a Penguin Classics Deluxe edition. And it's like really cool looking. Like, come on. Do you see that? Yeah. So obviously we all know Dracula the vampire. There's a fly. But it's I've also gotten to chapter 2 on this one, and I stopped reading it because literally everything else around me was just more interesting. I don't know. And so reading the book, when I first started reading the book, I did not realize that like how the book was written, which is pretty interesting. It's written as like letters. So this guy, Jonathan Harker, it's him writing in his journal, and they're like, well, at least the first few chapters are, or they're letters to somebody that he's writing to. But yeah, and then letter from Miss Mina Murray to Miss Lucy Westerna is another chapter. Mina Murray's journal. Like, they're all diary entries. It's not like written literature. I do want to finish reading this because I'm just hoping it'll really give me like Halloween vibes right now. The next book that I have is The Coven by Harper L. Woods. I actually was walking through Walmart and it just caught my eye. So I picked it up, not knowing what it's about. I still have not read the back or the inside. Still don't know what it's about. But it says on the top here, death is not your end. So we'll just see. It does have a sequel called The Cursed, which is why it's not the first book I read, because I don't have that book yet. And I'm not prepared to buy another book right now. But the edges on this book, are so beautiful. I mean, come on. This might be one of the books that I actually when it's on my bookshelf, I'll have the edges out because that's so pretty. Next book I have is The Haunting of Hill House by Shirley Jackson. And it does have a Netflix adaptation. And I love watching these shows in October, because I don't like scary movies, but these ones give me just enough scare that I can handle it. So I do want to read the book. And it's basically so this family buys this house, Hill House, and it turns out to be haunted. And the mother becomes possessed. And she ends up herself, during this possession, whatever entity is there kills her. And these kids are dealing with the aftermath of it all. And you get the little sister, what's her name? Hold on, what's her name? I think it's Ness. I don't know what her real name is, but they call her Ness. Anyways, she's just always pulled back to this house, and she's been haunted also by she's always been haunted by the events that happened in the house, and it's just really good. And when I watched the show, there was a very good twist in it that I loved. I audibly gasped because it was a shocker. Next book, I know these are a lot of books for October, and I'm not going to read all of them, but these are ones that I want to read. And if I don't read them in October, I will read them throughout the rest of fall, because they're also good fall vibes books. That gloomy kind of things are dying feel. So anyways, the next book is Pride and Prejudice and Zombies. So it's basically Pride and Prejudice, but with zombies, I guess. I picked it up at a thrift store, and I don't think it was ever read. It's super stiff. I don't know what's wrong with it. But yeah. Yeah. Want to read that one. The next book on my list is kind of questionable. Don't judge me. I guess it's a dark romance. I'm not very sure what it's about, but I know what it has in it. Oh my god. I was considering leaving this book out, but I'm just going to put it out there because transparency. So it's called That Sick Love by Jessie Hall. And I guess if you can tell by the cover, it has maybe some explicit content. All I know is masks are involved, and I am curious. So that's all I'm going to say. I'm just moving forward. So these are kind of going to be books. So the last of these books are my fall TBR that I'll be wanting to read for fall of 2024. This one, I wanted it to be on my October list, but that already has 6 books, so it's not realistic that I'm going to read this one. But this one also was a good one for fall because it has good fall vibes. The only reason why I wanted it in the October ones was because it has like witches in it. But it's like a cutesy little witches in it. It's The Spell Shop by Sarah Beth Durst. I've actually seen a lot of people reading it right now, talking about how like cute and cozy it is. Cottagecore. I mean, if that's not fall, then I don't know what is. But this one also has, they're not as pretty as the other edges, but it has like a nice purpley edge on it. But it's a romance about a witch and I don't know what else, honestly. I don't know if the other guy's a witch or what. What are guy witches called? Wizards? I don't know. The next book is a book that I've already spoken about before, and it's called For the Wolf. I did start reading this back in spring. I think it was spring. And I got to chapter 14 or something like that. 7, I don't know. It was divisible by 4. Wait, it was divisible by 7. Anyways, moving on. It was a good book. Good concept and all this. But just like I read it right after reading like The Secret Garden, where you know everything's coming to life and it was so beautiful and magical, and then like they're in this horrible woods that want to kill everybody, and it wasn't ready for that. But yeah, it's got like a nice kind of dreary, gloomy vibe. So this one might also be good for like the winter if I don't get through it now. My last book that I have is One Dark Window by Rachel Gillick. She's the one who did the review for the book that I am currently reading. My Darling Dreadful Thing? Yes, that's what it's called. I've heard so many great things about this book. It's a great fantasy book. I guess it's about what most fantasies are about. Monsters and probably saving your kingdom and stuff. But I've always heard people like rave about this book. And just from like, I'm not saying it's an autumny vibe, that it's, you know, I'm just like the cover. The cover tells me that this is the time, like November is the time I should be reading this book. I don't know why, but that's just what I get. If you've watched previous videos of mine and haven't noticed, I'm like a vibes reader. So I kind of just go with the vibes. Anyways, those are my books that I want to read for October and the rest of fall. If you've read any of them, I really want to know what you think, because I don't know what to read next. But yeah, thanks for watching.